You go.
I was just thinking, essentially, it just seems to be so many people that want change in their life, whether it's physical, mental, lifestyle, whatever it is. But essentially, if you want change, you have to make a change. And there's so many people that, whether they're aware of it or not, they seem to be comfortable in that space of just of knowing where they're at. So as soon as something else comes in and is introduced, they start getting uncomfortable, and that's where people go back to no. I rather be in my little comfort zone, even though I'm not completely happy. But I think essentially people have to realize if they want change, they have to make a change.
Yeah, it starts with them. Because like they're safe spaces. Like, yeah, I'm still suffering, but I'm familiar with this suffering, so I feel safe. I'm not happy.
Yeah.
So it's like, what if I opt for something more and it's worse than where I am? Well, if it's expanded your awareness, and once you've digested that awareness and that understanding, you can't be worse than where you are. It's always going to be better. I've heard people talking about, it's about life's about accumulating experiences, and then you gain great insight. And I go, well, no, there's something missing in this. It's not the accumulation of experiences, because that can destroy people. It's the digestion of experience, digestion and integration of experiences. So therefore it's understood. That's what sets you free, is the understanding of them, not just accumulating them as, without digesting and integrating, as in you're changing your way because of the impact of your experiences, or you're becoming aware of certain things, certain ramifications. So that is liberating when you keep picking something up that is hot, and you say, I'm not going to pick it up now because I keep burning my hand. So therefore your suffering minimizes because you've learned something, and that's the digesting of experiences I'm talking about. So on multiple levels. And the other thing with healing too, I feel it's important to say that when one's learning healing, it's important not to just try and push energy in. Like, for example, my understanding of cancer or radiation or like a backup of energy can, in my experience, can cause cancer, can cause all sorts of ailments.
Yeah.
So if the whole point is to, through understanding meditation, yoga, all these spiritual practices, is to allow yourself to flow. So you can't block anything from coming through you, but you can process things quickly, like a gushing waterfall.
Yeah.
So everything that goes over the waterfall goes through and keeps going. So when we think we know things, or if we at least, we know certain things, but if we're not open to more possibilities, then that's like a rock or something that something can catch on.
Yeah.
Because it's like, when you know the answer of in any particular area, and this is how it is. But if you're still in suffering, then you're creating like a net to catch anything that relates to that suffering, or anything that triggers that suffering. It gets bigger and bigger. So then there's an area of your body that doesn't flow, that can turn into illness, dis-ease.
Yeah.
And then within that illness, there's pain and things. And that's where, in the way I do things when I speak to others, I make sure there's understanding, so that misunderstanding where there's dis-ease within can be alleviated, and then the energetic healing that I do can be enhanced. And that's how I like to do things, which is unique, I guess, in a way. I feel, instead of pouring, let's say someone had misunderstanding and I activated all your chakras, and I can activate certain things, whatever else. But if there's no understanding behind that, then things are active, and you might feel good in some ways, bad in others, and then you just poured energy into an area that doesn't flow necessarily that well. And although in general you might feel that you're flowing better, but where there's accumulation of suffering or ailments within the body, and you pump that full of energy, that can be triggered and sparked potentially.
Yeah.
It's not always going to be like that, but that's the risk. In my experience, and I've worked with guys that's on the construction site that's opened, and it's like, wow, they almost broke down because not they're suffering, because they're feeling amazing. And when you let go, there's activations within the chakras and body anyway. So my experience, and what I've seen and what I've experienced myself, is that when a wall, and you know this yourself, like when a wall comes down, it's like, wow, amazing. Yeah. So it's like the spiritual aspect is waiting it's waiting for you, waiting for anyone to actually open and go, wow, yeah, and let it wall down, and then bang, it comes in instantly. It comes in.
Yep.
So there's no delay. So understanding and letting go will activate your centers as well. So you don't have to get someone to, I'll use this key. I'll give you the key to unlock all the doors within your body and within your psyche, and I'll activate you, and through me you can be activated. And it's like, no, just let go.
Yeah.
So, and that's where it comes down to questioning the thought, these sort of things. It's like, be open to possibilities, question the thoughts, and you'll go through profound change.
It's relearning, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And recalibrating by letting go. And people might go, I've let go of this. Nothing's happened. Have you let go of it? Or are you just choosing not to focus on it? Just because you choose not to focus on something doesn't mean you've let go of anything.
Yeah.
You won't know until you've challenged in a particular area, and whether, if it doesn't affect you the same, then you've worked through some stuff. But when there's true deep understanding, there's always activation, in my experience.
Yeah.
But I feel the other key thing that is that instead of healing through mind and just trying to push and pump energy through, the potency, and I feel for myself in the healing, it becomes at times almost instantaneous, and like the experience that you mentioned that Annika felt. So that's, and there's been a few things that I've done that you've got, did you do this? I go, oh yeah. Like if one of your child's not 100%, and it becomes like a whisper, and there's no attachment to any outcome. And I feel that is, so there's a major difference between healing through mind or head and pumping energy through, and healing through heart. I feel like the last place that healing must go through is your heart. Yeah. And it's almost like a surrender. It's almost like a surrender. Like in Sanskrit in India, my favorite word is swaha, or soha. These words, Sanskrit words, mean basically, I offer this to you, or to a being which is greater than I, that only this being truly knows what to do with my prayer. So it's humbling. I love it because it's so humbling. It's not, the empowerment is through surrender, not through taking ownership of anything, which we've mentioned before. So it's in the same sentiment. The more I surrender within myself, and the more I let go, and the more I heal through heart, the more potent the healing becomes. It's not my healing, it's the healing that comes through me. And then it almost becomes like a whisper, and you sort of almost forget it. And so there's no projection of healing. I will see healing within people, or I'll see the change, or I'll see an energetic change, or like a change within the DNA, or I'll see certain things, the buzzing of energies, and I feel my energy in my body buzzing pretty much all the time. Anytime I focus on it, it's like, I feel zzz, you just feel it. You hear it in a way. So when I do healing with others, I see and feel and hear that. And that's what I engage with, and that's what I love, and I heal that through heart. And that's how things happen.
Isn't it interesting how our society, to have things achieved in the society that we live in, the Western world especially, almost anything you have to fight for, you have to push, you have to, really strive for. And the exact opposite is what we need, is what we need to nurture, is what we need to grow, to develop, and all the rest of it. So it's almost like this society's been built up on the exact opposite to what we need. Yeah,
it's entrapment ultimately, because I feel like there's nothing wrong with striving. And I was talking to my son about this yesterday, and he's listened to some teachings, and very, very deep teachings, where the principles of truth is the same, just different the wording changes ultimately. If you're talking about absolute truth. And I said to my son, it's awesome that you're listening to other teachers. Teacher in particular, what's his name? If it comes to me, I'll tell you. But he said, what's the point in having all these other masters, whoever they are? And these are profound masters that we know of, like it. And what's the point? What are they doing for you? It's your journey. How can they help you? So I can understand that, because people identify with certain teachers and think on some level they can give them something, but they can't.
Yep.
That's where it can be misconstrued because they offer inspiration. So talking with my son, he said, oh, yeah, I should let go of this and let go of that. I said, yeah, but I said, just be open to possibility. I said, where they serve us or serve, where the point is to inspire. I said, be inspired, motivated and inspired, but don't be attached to where it will lead you. Don't have a preconceived idea of what it's like for you to arrive. I said, so use the inspiration, but be open to possibility.
Yeah.
I said, that's what these great teachers will offer. And that's what, so, and I feel with the comment you made about, everything that we're told is the opposite, because the idea is sort of right, but it's turned into something that it's not.
Yeah.
So the inspiration is turned to a literal reality of it's not inspiration, it's how things actually are, and it's not how things are. And that's the entrapment. So it's easily, the understanding is way too limited.
Yeah.
And this is where the entrapment is. Yeah. So I truly feel that use all teachings wherever you're drawn, use that as a motivation, but don't have a goal of, be inspired about the destination without projecting what it looks like, because that may limit the possibilities, or you might think it's not this or it's not that. I feel when you unravel your own mind and you use inspiration as your journey, when you arrive, it'll be far greater than you can imagine, in my experience, because you have more access to yourself. And I think any access you gain within yourself is a vast improvement on whatever you're feeling now. And not to say that won't be all joy and happiness, love and light always, but the more you unravel yourself, the greater the journey, the greater the joy, the greater the meaning. Everything is enhanced. And I wouldn't say that the suffering's enhanced. The suffering becomes more seen through. So the joys are greater. So definitely it's worth the risk of something more, because if you want to, and if it doesn't work for you, you can fall back into the suffering that you have now, if that really makes you happy. So if like you try something else and your suffering is enhanced, you might be right around the corner to a greater understanding. But if it doesn't work for you, fall back to the suffering that you're used to, which is if you want. But to me, no, I didn't want to get used to any suffering. No suffering was good, like was acceptable for me. And then, because I was always so hungry to discover and unravel myself, that just stagnating for myself was miserable for me. It just wasn't enough. It's worth discovering. We were talking about healing anyway, but even with the healing, everything's linked through heart. I think if you're healing and actually this is important too. I'll just tap on this.
Mm-hmm.
If I think it's important to visualize yourself healing. Visualize yourself, and disclaimer: I'm not saying you can absolutely cure yourself. And people go, well, be careful. Don't tell people they can heal themselves. Oh, you'll be liable. It's like, of course you can. Like, you are the result of your thoughts and feelings, and obviously what you eat, where you live. If you're on the phone all the time, that's your fault. Obviously, you choose your job, you choose your everything. And I'm not condemning these things, but phone went funny. But why not accept the possibility that you can enhance or heal to some degree yourself? And then as you discover and gain more access to yourself, what you can utilize within and the energies, you have access to more. So why not think that you can? Be open to possibility. Don't get caught in your head. Get caught in your heart and live there as much as possible. And from that place, anything can happen. So like I've mentioned, I've done performance enhancing hypnosis. I choose now meditation in different ways. I don't do the performance performance enhancing hypnosis now. I can do meditations that can along those lines. But people need to understand that they actually have a choice and that they can impact their own lives. And they don't have to be in suffering. They just have to be willing for something more. And what that that Japanese scientist that photographed the water molecules.
Dr. Emoto.
Yeah, I recommend anyone and everyone go and watch that. Like, it's all I'm talking about is that potential of where your thoughts are, you can manifest and change on an atomic level.
Yeah.
Everything around you, including yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, go and check out the video. It's along the same lines. Nothing's contradicting what he's talking about. It's that will enhance. That gives credibility of what we're saying.
Yeah.
You can start healing yourself, and even if it's just thinking positive things about yourself, thinking about yourself in a greater light, that's the start. And then it can unfold from there. And there's many things you can learn, and we can talk hours and hours on healing. And maybe we'll talk more on it. I'm sure we will. But
no doubt.
Thanks. Yeah, well, it's both our passion. This is.
Yeah.
And then we can talk about potentially how I discovered healing amongst dark and negative things as well. That's another interesting topic. So by all means, you can impact your own life. Just start changing the way you think and feel, and so instead of judging others and judging yourself, just start loving yourself and loving others from your heart. From your heart, that's the key. So thanks for listening in. And if there's any topics you'd like us to talk about and give our perspective, then by all means, reach out. So thanks for listening in.
Thank you.